Hey, all right, chocolate cake. How many people are in lockdown having to have birthdays? I've got twins. All right. My son is very particular. He wants a chocolate peanut butter cake and he doesn't really care. My daughter also wants chocolate cake, but she actually wants to share some with her mother who's on a plant-based diet. Okay, so let's go through the ingredients. I'm going to start with vegan or the plant-based one. Simple ingredients: cocoa powder. Don't buy shit, buy the best available. It's just going to come through in the flavors. I've got applesauce. If you don't have applesauce, use mashed bananas, use mashed butternut, use mashed sweet potatoes, anything that's pasty. I'm using coconut cream. I've got sugar, flour, salt, vinegar, any old vinegar, doesn't matter. Baking soda, baking powder, oil, and I've got some water. For the normal chocolate cake, this is my go-to chocolate cake. Flour, sugar, butter, cocoa powder, once again decent stuff, salt, baking powder, baking soda, eggs, and milk. For the vegan one, let's go all the dry ingredients together. This is following a bit of a pattern and you'll pick it up yourself. So I'm just taking all the dry ingredients, baking powder and baking soda. I sift always. I'm going to say it again, I've said it a few times. You know, sifting flour is not going to do much good unless it's all lumpy. Right nowadays, you don't have that problem so much. Salt and into the machine. For the normal chocolate cake, very similar. Flour, cocoa powder, sugar, baking soda, baking powder, salt to engage all the taste buds, butter. Now I'm going to make a noise. Mix it, whichever mixer you want. You can do it by hand, or you can use a little hand mixer, or you just want all the butter to become totally mixed with flour and all the other dry ingredients. So I'm just heating the edge, which will melt the butter just a little bit so it can incorporate properly. When it's mixed properly, add your eggs one at a time. Now what you want to do is you want to cream it up as much as you can. So I'm going to leave it for a second at high speed and you'll see it'll start to go pale. When it's reached a certain point, slowly add the milk. Don't add the milk too quickly. You know, I would probably add it in 3 stages. Give it a bit of a paddle, try to pull the sides off. Add this very, very slowly, or else you can spray paint your kitchen. Okay, we've finally got the lighting right. That's what it should be looking like. Into the cake tin. Needs to be just under half, and it should fill up. In cupcakes, keep them in the freezer for when we want a chocolate treat. You can either spoon it in, you can get a piping bag and pipe it in. For the vegan, or the plant-based one, put the machine on slow, add the oil, same process as you would if you were making the so the oil is replacing the butter. Okay, so now I'm going to add my coconut cream, applesauce, vinegar. I'm going to hold back the water for a while, just give this a little bit of a blitz, and slowly add the water. Okay, it's all mixed. It is a much softer batter than the other cake, but believe me, it works, and it's fast becoming my second favorite chocolate cake. Michelle just asked a very valid question. Why don't I put spray and cook or any greasing on the side? Okay, I never do that with sponges. I find that they work better. They don't pull away from the sides. If you do put paper and stuff like that, they tend to pull away from the sides, so you don't have a complete one. You can always cut it out. I'm using the spring form, so I click it off and I can cut the bottom off as well. Into the oven at 160 degrees. Now what to put on top of your cake? Whatever you feel like putting on top of it. I'm going to use a ganache, but I'm going to use ganache. I'm going to try and make the cakes look similar because they're twins and it's just a thing. Okay, so for the veggie one, vegetable base, I use coconut cream and chocolate. So it is a dark chocolate with no milk solids in whatsoever. Exactly the same for the non-vegan one, except I use cream. I'm going to boil the cream, I'm going to add the chocolate, and I'll get to you now. Which one goes where? Ah, that one there, that one there. Alright, so I've boiled the cream and the coconut cream. I'm going to add the solid chocolate in, take it off the stove. Don't do this on the stove. Chocolate is very sensitive, and stir it until it is a smooth paste. I just got splattered. Don't pull away. Alright, so you can see both of them mixed. Don't worry too much about the texture. You can either use a little bit less chocolate to the recipe. I like to have it a little bit thicker because what I'm going to do is I'm going to make a buttercream. And then when I want to glaze, I just add a little bit of milk, a little bit of water to this, and it'll run it down and make a perfect glaze. Standard way of checking if you're baked correctly. If it comes out clean, it's baked. The big cakes are still in the oven. Ganache is ready. I'm going to show, especially for the veggies, how to make chocolate buttercream vegan style. I've let the ganache cool down. It's almost fridge temperature, not quite, still needs to be slightly warmer than that. I'm just going to paddle it up until the cream's up. Done. Okay, now while the ganache is creaming up, just going to cut this. Okay, so now I'm going to make the apple chocolate cupcakes. Once again, on my cornet, make a loop like that, loop it around, pull it in, and fold it. I've got the homemade apple sauce. Now that was from the trees on the farm. So I'm going to take this, I'm going to inject it into the cupcake. So we've got very much like a jam donut kind of vibe. Point of the thing is nice and sharp into the cupcake and squeeze. A little bit oozes out, that's all right. So our buttercream is ready. All this is coconut, it's the ganache, cool down and then whipped up in the machine. Now this is just, I'm just going to pipe it on top of the cupcakes. Going to have that slight fruity flavor of the apples. Going to have that creamy chocolate ganache on the outside. Okay, so for that, and if you want to make a poop emoji.
Oh, it does look like poop. Yeah. Yuck.
Now I'm going to check if it's ready. It's the vegan one. You see it's still very wet inside there. For the other one, try to take it to the top, also still very wet inside there. Okay, so the sponges are ready. I've checked them, come out clean with the stick. The way I do it, and I find it keeps the moisture, it keeps everything great in it, in the cake itself. Put some paper on, and I turn it upside down. Now I'm going to decorate these only tomorrow, so they can cool down and the sponge can settle nicely. Okay, and there'll be, if you're going to try and decorate this whilst it's still warm or on the same day, it is a whole lot more difficult and the crumb falls apart a lot easier. Leave it for a day, much easier to decorate.